Hi everyone, my name is Eve. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today we are on another themed recommendations list, and this time we're focusing on dark academia. I won't bore you with super long-winded intro about what dark academia is and what sort of books would fall under it, because I feel like this is something that's been talked about for ages, but I always think of a few different factors when I read books and whether they fall under dark academia or not, because it is a vibe. It's almost like a subcultural vibe at this point, and for me it has to be set around some kind of a school setting, preferably in some kind of a private boarding school or like a private university. It has to have some messed up dynamics of likely rich characters who are entitled, thinking they can get away with everything just because they have money. Characters who are seeking out some kind of knowledge, characters who have this ambition, they're glamorizing being the best and being special, part of like all sorts of secret societies, part of special classes, just really dark and moody books that have boarding school, university, like old time setting. Basically, that's what I'm going with when it comes to this list. But if anyone is interested in hearing about dark academia yet again some more from myself, I can always have a bit of a deeper dive, talk about it more as a trope, have a bit of a more of a backed up summary of things, but for now we're just going with books specifically. So let's begin. The first entry on the list is also the first novel in the series. I have not read any of the others yet. I'm not certain that I will, but I did really enjoy this one, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Jackson. And this features the main character. She's true crime nerd, mystery nerd, loves reading about all the creepy, scary stuff that some might find too morbid. She gets to go to this private school up in the mountains, and there is decades old unsolved mystery there that kind of peeks its head again once she gets to the school, and she thinks, you know what, I'm gonna solve it because I'm basically a detective. I mean, I listen to podcasts, so but yeah, it was a good fun. The one drawback I had with this book, if you do read these, you have to keep it in mind that the author planned them to be a series, like it shows from her writing, because this one ends on a big cliffhanger and kind of feels like the whole book was a setup leading into the other ones. So if you're just looking to read this as a standalone, you probably won't be as satisfied, but it has all sorts of characters, kind of not stereotypes so much. They start out as a bit of stereotypes and then it develops, but they're all characters who are interested in getting it all from the school and the whole vibe of the buildings and the forests near all the mountain air. I think it definitely fits the criteria for me. Next book in the list we have is Ace of Spades by, I will so butcher the pronunciation of this, but it is Farida Abikehimide. Yeah, I should not have even tried, I'm so sorry. But this one is about an elite school where you have two Black students and they start getting harassed by this anonymous figure. Gossip Girl is referred to in the blurb as one of the review comments that you get in italics, and they get their secrets aired out to everyone in the school, and they just sort of find themselves feeling alienated from their peers as they're not really getting any help from anyone. And it turns out that there's more than just a bit of petty gossip at stake. And this book did make me feel uncomfortable. In my tier ranking review, I think I did mention that the pacing got a bit lost for me in the middle, but regardless, I think this definitely fits under the dark academia umbrella because it's set again in a private school with rich snobs who will, they will stop at nothing to get where they need to in life, even if that means stepping over everyone and everything. And then you just have these characters who are looking to, make it out of high school in one piece. And there's lots of secrets and all sorts of societies and groups and gatherings. It definitely matches the vibe that dark academia is, for me at least. And I've seen quite a few people put this book in their lists as well. So I think that's not an unpopular opinion. Then we got They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. And this is a very loose commendation, I would say, because this is about this, again, kind of elite-ish school where a group of teenagers are looking to get into like the best colleges in the country, and they have this society where you get hazed pretty badly to get into it, but once you get into it, you have like answers to all the tests and like all the best ways to get references from teachers, and just it's a bit of a cheat code to life, basically. There is also a mystery there with the main character's friend was murdered 3 years before the story starts, and then she gets approached by the suspected guy's sister. He got off free, but everyone's like, he did it anyway. The boyfriend always does it. But she's like, you know what, I think we're onto something that will help us catch the real culprit. The mystery, I said it, I think twice already, the mystery was quite thin with this one actually, but as far as the dark academia aspect goes, you have these characters who will stop at nothing to succeed, and there's that bit of sense of entitlement and cruelty and secrets hiding within the walls of that society that they're a part of in this school, because there are clearly things that went wrong that someone went to great lengths to cover up. And I do think that it's very juvenile. Like, if you don't like YA, then definitely don't pick this one up, because it is definitely in that YA bracket where it does get a bit extra, but I still really enjoyed it. I've used this book in another commendations list of mine, but it was just too perfect not to include, and that is The Furies by Katie Lowe. And this one is about a group of girls who attend this private school, and they're part of this special class, not a society per se, but they just go to this class where they study things that aren't really taught by the main curriculum. And there's also rumors that whoever gets invited to that class is a witch, because they practice witchcraft. We follow the main character as she gets kind of integrated into the group of girls that basically the titular Lord the Furies, and they get up to witchy shenanigans together. And I did say in one or two previous videos that there's actually the whole witchcraft angle, I would say that is almost up for interpretation, but where it meets the dark academia criteria is that there's this thirst for knowledge. Like, these girls, they want to know more, they want to be the best, they want to appear in this class like they're literally a walking encyclopedia. And obviously the atmosphere, the old school with the old style building, and just the whole vibe really matched. I kept imagining the exact mood board for what people use for dark academia. Like, I do think that this fits. I mean, I would recommend it to both YA and adults, because this is a really interesting exploration of toxic female friendships, even if when I first read it I was a bit disappointed in it, but the more I sat on it, the more I thought, you know what, this is actually a really good book, even if it wasn't exactly what I expected. But yeah, definitely a good time. Then we got In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, and this follows a group of former friends who are now in their 30s who go to their 10-year college reunion, and the seventh friend in their group, she's been brutally murdered, and everyone was like, oh yeah, her boyfriend did it. I mean, he was never convicted, but his social standing, reputation was ruined because of it. But the murder girl's brother at the reunion, he's like, oh well, I actually think that it was a one of you guys who did it, so I will do whatever I can to bring the murderer to justice. And it just airs out all their dirty laundry, and really has that drive for ambition to be the best. Maybe it's not necessarily, oh, I want to be the bestest student, I have this massive thirst for knowledge or whatever, but it's definitely the thirst just win in life, to have that prestige, to have that power, the money, to just prove to everyone whatever it is that the main character feels like she has to prove. And it's not just the main character, every single character in the main friend group, not so much friends really after everything, but they all feel like they have to prove something, and they all have this drive to get to where they think they should be. And of course, again, the atmosphere and the vibes and all the twisted romances and all that stuff. I think it's probably a bit of a looser recommendation of this, but I do think that it applies. And again, I have seen this one in other videos as well, but I do stand by this. I think it matches what Dark Academia is going for, at least on some level. We got The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce it. This is a very divisive book. Some people either love it or hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle towards loving it a bit more. But this is about the main character goes back to her university to help out her niece, who's also going to said university, because her niece's best friend and roommate, all that, she got brutally murdered. And the main character, she thinks that she knows damn well who did it, and she's going to just piece the mystery together and bring them to justice, more or less. And where the mystery goes is one thing, but where I think this is perfect for the Dark Academia is that a lot of people said as a complaint, and I mean, I noted that as well, is that this book dives a lot into the whole Greek mythology, a lot of mystery is tied to it, and there's a secret society that acts like something out of a Greek tragedy play, and it kind of assumes that you know all of this, because there are no like footnotes explaining anything, nothing, no context really, just dives right into those references, and you have to understand. And some people said it made me feel stupid because I wasn't some kind of a Greek mythology know-it-all, so I had to start googling stuff, and it just took me out of the enjoyment. I would say that it definitely fits because these characters, they're striving for all this knowledge of this mythology and all this tragedy that this professor's feeding them, because there's this professor that's hosting this secret society, and these girls, the titular maidens, are part of it, which is a bit of icky when you think about it. And the book definitely thinks about it too, I'll say that. But yeah, all the vibes of the university hallways, and all the memories of the protagonist when she went there herself, and just, yeah, I definitely think that this fits the vibe. I've said that so many times in this video. But last book on this list is The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I read this years ago, and I was actually a bit disturbed because I didn't expect for it to be that graphic in places. But anyway, this is about this young woman who has had a really tough life. Sort of think drugs and alcohol, homelessness at one point, very messed up situation. And it doesn't make it any better that she can see what she thinks are ghosts. And of course, she can't really say that to anyone because everyone's just gonna be like, you crazy. And she gets admitted into Yale, the Yale. And of course, there has to be a catch because she doesn't have any school credentials, let alone any references or extracurriculars. And basically, the situation is that there's the secret society in Yale that do things that they don't want getting out, a bit of experiments here and there, and her ability to see these ghosts, what they call the Greys, to assist them in doing whatever they're doing. And if she has kindness in her heart to help them, then she gets full ride to Yale, no strings attached. So she does that, and things kick off. Someone that she actually likes as a friend and a person there goes kind of sucked into whatever the Grey is. And yeah, there's a lot of chaos here. I don't remember that much of the actual enticing incident and the actual plot. I know there's a sequel. I don't think I'm gonna read it, but I do think that this definitely applies in terms of the whole secret society vibes and entitled bastards vibes, and again the atmosphere. This main character doesn't exactly have much ambition or knowledge to strive for some kind of academic perfection, like nothing like that. She literally just wants these things to leave her alone, and she wants to, get the hell out of Dodge to survive. But I do think that it's definitely a contender for this list because the vibes, again, I keep saying it, the vibes were immaculate. And that is it for this list. If you like this video, please make sure to give a comment, give a thumbs up, subscribe. I would love to have a discussion if you think of any other recommendations. I know of some of the classics that I still need to get to, like Secret History, If We Were Villains and all that, but I've just not had the chance to get to them yet. But I hope